Yo guys, what is going on today? We've got some big announcements to do first. You know, I was on stream yesterday and I had an announcement that I wanted to make, but obviously I want to make an announcement to the rest of the channel before we get into what the videos is going to be about. So I have been accepted into the Diablo Immortal program, and I just want to thank Blizzard for, you know, having me. It's an honor to be a part of that small collective team. And yeah, I think now going forward is just to keep on pushing the channel, keep on producing the content, and keep on just giving what you guys expect. The good news is, and I think a lot of you will be pleased, that I have jumped back to Necromancer, getting ready for the new essences that are going to be coming out shortly. I would say we're expecting them over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're getting closer to that 1,000 Paragon now. So yeah, guys, we are a partner now. So it just means that I've been recognized really for the content I've been doing, and it's been all because of you coming into the channel and jumping into my Discord, watching my content, and it's just been great, guys. The journey has been amazing. The other thing I want to do is just give a massive shout out to Razor. Razor here have supplied me with the brand spanking new chair, and it's absolutely brilliant, so comfortable to use. So today's video, it's going to be about the actual update we've had, which is the Diablo Immortal and Hearthstone crossover. I think it's actually really good, and I think a lot of people have had mixed opinions on whether it's a good update, whether it's a bad update, but I've gone through it and I'm going to be basically giving you ratings based on each part of the update as well. We're going to be looking into it, diving into it, and seeing exactly kind of what it is good, what is bad, and just all of the general good stuff, you know. So let's get into it, guys. So the update rated. This is basically, again, how we're going to be judging it. We're going to be looking at each individual section of the update from the patch notes and some images from in-game. And we're just going to be basically seeing kind of what I personally believe is the score that each part of these should have based on my experience in the game and what we expect as gamers, right? So the first part then is the main part of the event, the gather round for Heroes of the Hearth. This is all about collecting the cards and then kind of, you know, collecting the in-game rewards that we've been getting throughout this event. Now, there is a lot, and you're going to see instantly what rating I've given this part, and I'll go through into why I've given that rating. So, first of all, guys, the collection of cards, the actual rewards, I believe deserves a 10 out of 10 rating for this, because we've got more rewards so far with this crossover event than what we had even in the anniversary event. You know, we've had the chance to collect these Hearthstone cards, which is pretty cool in itself, collecting the cards. But then again, on each week for the next 4 weeks, we're going to get rewards for collecting cards. And by the looks of it, I don't know whether it's going to continue throughout the 8 for the 6, 8-6, 8-13, and 8-20. But if we're going to be getting an emote, a Tendric Pearl, and a legendary crest each week, that's 4 extra free crests, as well as the 10 we got for the login reward, which is just great. You know, 10 extra legendary crests is a free-to-play player. That is amazing for you guys. You're also getting that portal frame, the portal and the frame, sorry, and you're getting the new 2-star legendary gem, which we're going to go into in a little while as well. But then you're also getting round rewards, right, for completing the length of this event throughout the next month. You're going to be getting, over that 4 rounds, you're going to be getting 4 new emojis. You're going to be getting 8 green set items, 24 legendary items, 4 of these portrait frames that you can see just down here. These portrait frames here. Now, they only last 30 days and you can collect 4 of them. I think there is like 5 or maybe 6 in total. But I think they're really cool. It's a shame they are only for 30 days. I wish that these 30-day things you could use for a lot longer. You're also going to be getting 6 rare crests and then another legendary crest. So in here you've got really a total of 15 potential legendary crests, I believe it is. You know, if we are going to be getting the same for these rewards here, if we are going to be getting the same throughout the each week as it progresses, which I hope that we do. But I believe that because of these rewards, the event deserves a 10 out of 10 for this one, because the rewards are what we look for in an event, right? Free rewards is good for the game, good for the progress of free-to-play player and low spenders, as well as the people that spend more money in the game. So guys, next section. We've got the card collect, the actual code you can use to collect the rewards that are on screen. So if you haven't done already, go into the game, redeem using that code, card collect, and you will get these items for free. Now this is better than what we had on the anniversary event. And for that reason, you're getting, you know, 10 rare crests. I think if that would have been a legendary crest, just 1, and not the rare crest, I would have still given it the same rating I'm giving it now. You're getting 2 mystery legendary items, and you're getting 3 of each color of the gems. And for that reason, I've actually given this an 8 out of 10 because I think that deserves that rating. You know, this card collect reward, I think if we're going to be getting codes in the game on a regular basis, they need to be on this sort of level to make it kind of, you know, actual worthwhile of them doing it. We need the normal gems. New players need the normal gems. You know, new players and free-to-play players want to be enticed, you know, to go and use their crests and stuff like that. So giving them this sort of reward is always a positive, I think. Next up, the Battle Pass. Now, Battle Pass is one of those things that people always have a little bit of issues with the cosmetic. Now, but I think this time round, they've actually hit it on the head, right? This cosmetic looks amazing. Looks amazing, and for a Battle Pass cosmetic, I think it is so good. And for that reason, I believe it deserves a 7 out of 10. Now, for the two classes that I play, obviously Necro being the main class and the Druid being the class that I've just recently been playing, I think these two look absolutely on point. The fact that you've got the bones on this shield and you've got the skull on the weapon looks absolutely amazing. I don't think they could have done any better with this. I think it looks on point. The wings look good on the white wings. The helm is really good. I actually prefer this cosmetic with the helm. I think the bones hugging it, absolutely perfect. I think this deserves a 7 out of 10 for a Battle Pass cosmetic. Next up, Winds of Fortune, guys. We all like Winds of Fortune, but I think there could be some improvements at this state of the game, right? At this stage in the game. I think that when it comes to double drops, it actually states double drops, but with normal gems, you only get them quicker. You don't get double drops because there is still the weekly cap. I think this really, in my opinion, should go above that weekly cap when they drop in a Winds of Fortune, so you officially get double drops. And I think because of that, the rating I give it is an 8 out of 10. I think this would get a 10 out of 10 if we can actually get true double drops over the weekly cap when this is active. You know, it only goes on for a week, so why don't just allow us to have that week have true double rewards instead of it just being collect the rewards quicker. It's a good event. I like it. The best time to use it is on a Sunday evening, so then you get the double drops on the Monday as well, so you can actually collect your gems quicker on both Sunday and a Monday, and you can go in and get your double legendary drops from doing your terror rifts and other things like that. You know, always make sure you're doing them on a Sunday and a Monday when it comes to Winds of Fortune being active. Next up, the Enchanted Planes. Now, we did go through and do this on stream the other night and use the cards and see what it was all about, and I must say, didn't feel much different. It didn't feel much different at all. I think the cards didn't really, I didn't really feel that they were doing anything. It's a shame because the collecting the cards is kind of a cool feature of this event, and they make it look like a big thing. Even in this image, you've got like cars whizzing around doing things, you know, they look like it's going to be really affecting the actual gameplay quite a lot. But when you're actually in the gameplay, it doesn't really feel like they make that much of a difference. And for that reason, I give it a 6 out of 10. I like Fractured Planes, and I think it's a worthy, you know, mode, and that's why I do rate this above the middle of the range. But I think the cards in general could have done more. I like the fact that you get to select your cards and what ones you want to use in the match. But I just don't feel they made much of a difference. The impact could have been greater, and then I think it would have been much more fun doing them in an event mode. Next up, Troll of the Hearth. Now, this is not active until later on in the event, but I think it's still worth talking about the fact that we've experienced these cards in Fractured Planes. Give us some idea of what they're going to be like in Troll of the Hearth. Now, in this image, it makes them look like, again, they're going to be playing a very big role of you know, affecting our gameplay. And I think in this mode, I think they may play a bigger role than what they did in the Fractured Planes, simply because these cards, and we'll go into the next screen, they actually affect the gameplay drops on that second one that you pick. So that one basically is going to affect things like the orbs that drop. So you're going to have different types of orbs. So it really could affect the gameplay on a massive scale. And it's going to be interesting to see when this becomes active, what it's actually going to feel like. I'm intrigued to see. So for that reason, I'll give this a higher rating because I prefer Troll of the Hordes to Fractured Planes. I actually do like the fact that you're going to have hordes of monsters you know, you've got to defeat them quicker than your enemy. I think that's great. So I give this a 7 out of 10. And I think that's a worthy rating. I don't know what you think when it comes to Fractured Plane and Trial of the Hearth or Trial of the Hordes. Do put your comments down below in this video to make sure you get your opinions over. I think everyone having opinions about an event like this is a good thing, because Blizzard needs opinions to improve and see what people didn't like, right? Next up, a big thing to talk about, I believe, the 2-star Manaflux Legendary Gem. Sadly, considering the other 2 gems we've had in a crossover event, the Mornskull and the Crimson Bellhit, this gem is far below those when it comes to any sort of rating. And I will go into details why, and you'll see the rating. I've actually give this a really hard time, I think. 2 out of 10. I could have potentially give it a 3. But to me, this gem, and I don't know what everyone's opinion is on this, obviously, again, put that down in the comments, but to me, this gem could have been so much better. Now, this one says it generates 10 mana over 20 seconds. So the mana is, you know, the mana doesn't even need to be there. It just says over 20 seconds, every 20 seconds, you're going to be able to do something. So, and then that something is going to be using a skill, will consume that mana, invisible mana. And if you're above 50% maximum health, you're going to roll a Ragnaros, which is then going to hurl a fireball at nearby enemies. And as long as there is nearby enemies, so he does nothing if there's no nearby enemies. If you are below 50% maximum life, you play the Swamp Ooze, who spits acid at nearby enemies. Now, the biggest issue I have with this is this next bit. Both attacks deal 310% base damage plus some extra to enemies that are within the area. Additionally, Ragnaros attacks burns enemies for 30% base damage. So that burn is very small. And it only lasts 4 seconds. The same with this Swamp Ooze. It silences the enemies, preventing the use of their skills for 4 seconds. Now, the issue with this is it's affected by Strife. Strife will bring that down to basically like just over 1 second. And then if you actually add on things like Barons and Misery Elixir, I believe you can get it up to around 1.8 seconds. So for PvP, this is just not worth it, in my opinion. And for PvE, there's gems that far exceed this as a 2-star gem. You know, there's just, why would you take this over anything else? I just can't see why you would use it. And that is, you know, my personal opinion. If you've got other opinions about it, drop them down. But that's why I've given this such a harsh rating, because I think all we will use these event gems for is going to be some extra food for our other gems to rank them up. And I think Blizzard understands that, and then that's why we've been getting so many kind of gems for free this time round. You know, they give so many more in the actual store where you can actually buy some, you know, and for people that do spend, will be able to get them extra on top of other things they would normally buy anyway. But this is why I've scored it very low. I don't think we will do any other video about it. I won't be ranking this one up, and I'll advise obviously people not to. Unless you just want to try it out for science, go ahead. You know, whatever you find, do let us know in the Discord. I think it's good to try things out for science. But from what I've seen in other videos from other creators, this one, even at a higher rank, does less damage than familiars. So that is the opinion, guys. Next up, the familiar skins. Now, these skins bring a lot of nostalgia to the game for people that have played World of Warcraft. We've got the Core Hound here from Molten Core, and we've got obviously Ragnaros there as well. 2 iconic characters from the World of Warcraft scene, and I think these familiar skins look absolutely amazing. There's only one downside, right? These skins look amazing even in game. Look at little Ragnaros there and the Core Hound. Absolutely amazing. Just based on their looks, I've given them an 8 out of 10. They don't do anything extra other than just be a skin on your familiar, but I've based it just on the looks, the nostalgia feeling. These are great. 8 out of 10 for these 2. Now, to make them 10 out of 10, I would say that, you know, they should have been free. I know the Core Hound had a workaround and has a workaround. If you go and collect the free green set from the Battle.net store, it actually classes a purchase, and then you can get the Core Hound for free. But sadly, Lil Ragnaros is roll 8 on the Phantom Cosmetic, so not going to be available to everyone. Now, that is a downside. I think possibly it should have been in a lower roll. I can understand why they've done it, but maybe as roll 2 or 4 maybe would have been much better. Could have maybe crept up that ranking up to around about a 9. If it was free, then it would have got a 10 straight off. So guys, what do you think about these 2 familiars and these skins? And let us know in the comments about them too. I think they're absolutely great. Next up, the Phantom Cosmetic, always a topic of interest for people. Now, on this image here, obviously we've got Tyrande and Malfurion, two massive iconic characters when it comes to the World of Warcraft scene and Hearthstone. You know, all going around with cards floating about. The scene looks absolutely amazing. You know, the art style is great. Now, when it comes to the cosmetics, we were obviously told that male and female versions are going to be different this time around. And that is a first. And I think that's great to have that, because obviously people prefer to be male or female in the game. So having two different cosmetics means you can change it up, mix it up. If you do buy the cosmetic, it's going to always look different. So, and for that reason, I have kind of gone over these both on Druid and Necro, but I've given them the same rating so you can see what the cosmetics look like with my classes. So first of all, we'll go with my main class, the Necromancer, female and male. I really like how the female looks in this. I think it looks absolutely amazing. The shield, the weapon, the glow, the aura, spot on. Really, really good. The male version, although I don't a beard as well, you know, I think it looks great. The beard could have been much more massive. You compare that to the beard on this guy. This beard here is huge. He's got like hair coming down the back. It could have been much more prominent and wider to make it look even better. But overall, I think they both look really good, but I do prefer the female version, even in the Druid form. You know, the Druid looks absolutely great as well. The male version, the Druid, looks a bit more hench. The beard just is the same, just sits a little bit higher because his chest. But I think overall, they deserve an 8 out of 10. These cosmetics are great. They look amazing. They are far superior to the Battle Pass cosmetic. You know, when you compare them to any Battle Pass cosmetic, they deserve to be a higher rating, even though they are paid for, guys. You know, even though they are paid for. You know, some people, I actually see a lot of people buying these. So it's a real good thing that people do support the game by buying things like these cosmetics, because they are really good, and they do take a long time to design. You know, the actual intricate details that are in each of these is amazing. The glow is amazing. I think they've done a real banger of a job. Now, guys, next up, we've got to talk about these feature updates. The feature updates, I think, are very important. You know, the only one that I've kind of seen an issue with so far is this Survivor's Bane. It basically states, and we looked at this on stream yesterday, it basically states that they're adding this new buff to Survivor's Bane called Reveal, which allows players to see a location of the nearest health pool when they have less than 30% health remaining. I had 30% health remaining, or less than 30% health remaining, loads of times yesterday when doing Survivor's Bane, and never see an indication to where the health pool was. I had to search around for ages around the outskirts of the map to try and find one, and it was very difficult. Now, the logic of the drop rate of items, I do see that being much better. I definitely noticed that in the game, so thumbs up for the Survivor Bane change. Just that needs a fix on that 30% life remaining so you can see your health pots. The Paragon Tree simplification, really, really good. We needed something, but we don't want to be clicking all the time. We just want one buttons. One button for everything in the game when it comes to like removing normal gems when they're in our stash bags would be a really good feature. So consider looking into this in more depth, I think, personally. The Vanguard Charm is a good quality of life update to lock your charm in place. I know it has caused some issues at the moment because people are noticing that their green set items are actually grayed out, so you don't get to see them very well. Hopefully they will fix that and it will all be back to normal soon. The Wild Brawl legendary gem changes, they're really, really good. You know, I think going in with our 5-star gems so you can actually use them when they haven't had, when they've obviously been, got resident gems in them is really, really good. Now, when it comes to the infernal difficulties, these ones I was really surprised about because I believe that, you know, they reduced these probably by too much. I was quite surprised to see the challenge dungeons in I8 actually go down to below 50,000. I thought they would have stayed above 50,000 CR, but I'm all for making it more accessible for more people. So great work, guys. Great work. The same when it comes to the open world and the gauntlet and the Heligrave reduction. It's all good for people to be able to see and go through and see all of the content that everyone can see. So for that reason, I rated these quality of life changes and feature updates a 9 out of 10. So guys, that is everything been rated. If you agree with some of them features and some of them ratings, just mention it in the comments. If you disagree, mention that in the comments. But overall then, guys, that gives the patch score a rating of 7.4 out of 10 in my personal opinion. I think this has been a great patch. The actual crossover event has been amazing. It's been much better than the anniversary event. I think it's a thumbs up to Blizzard for making the quality of life changes, to bringing us loads of free items. I think we couldn't have really asked for more. This is the only thing I suppose we could have asked for more is a better 2-star gem, but I think we've been lucky recently, having both the Morn Skull and the Crimson being really overpowered gems. I think, yeah, we've had more luck when it comes to those than anything, because we never asked for two really powerful 2-star gems, but we got them, and they are both staples in most builds when it comes to damage amping our characters, right? But guys, that is the video. Like I just mentioned, if you want to kind of make a comment about my scores, if you disagree, if you agree, if you think I've been too harsh, make that comment in the video, in the comments down below in the video. We will go through the video and the comments and kind of try and respond to everyone that replies. But I think it's definitely something we should talk about more, because then Blizzard knows what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and they can make them improvements. If you like the content I bring, don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are going to be having necro videos coming up over the coming weeks, because I am going to be necro for the next 4 to 6 weeks, trying out new builds, figuring out new stuff when it comes to the essences, guys. But remember, come and jump in the Discord. We're there to help. If any of you new players want to jump in and ask any questions, feel free to. We're there always to help you guys.